Welcome to The Secret Truth. I'm George Butler along with my co-host.
Charlotte Littlefield. Good morning, George.
Morning, Charlotte. How's it up there in Missouri land, huh?
Oh, well, like I said, we're having a very pleasant summer. It's mild morning. It'll be fall soon. It feels almost like fall, but it's going to be warm today.
Right. We had a Thursday night debate in Houston of the Democratic uh, candidates for presidency, and it was quite a raucous event. They concentrated on health care, universal health care to a large extent, and then there were some insults. Julio Castro lodged a complaint against Joe Biden that was false, actually, and he was actually made misstatements. So hey, that was quite a gap on his part. But overall, it was just like a carnival. Did you get to review any of that at all?
No, I got the live stream, but I didn't feel like I wanted to be in that environment, so I clicked away from it. And I thought I was on a pre-recorded video. I kind of
Right.
had a I
Oh,
was
there
gonna
was
go back
something.
and watch it, but I think it was a live stream. I had a live
Okay,
stream up,
there's
but I
something that's just
didn't watch
breaking in
it.
Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, the Yemen rebels launched a drone attack on a oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. There's a massive fire on the oil supply has been disrupted in the Middle East. So that is something really ongoing right now. So that shows that even small rebel groups can get hold of drones and launch those and disrupt a major oil.
Yemen's a small rebel group. That's
Yeah,
confusing. Yemenis
yeah.
people are suffering. The
Well,
way I
no,
understand it, they're
well,
dying
no.
of famine.
Yeah, this has been ongoing between the Saudis and the Yemen rebels for several years now, 2 or 3 years or longer. And so, evidently, this is just a disruption of the oil supply
So they
on
have a
from the.
war going on over there that we're not involved in.
What's that? Yeah, no, we're supporting the Saudi efforts over there, and I think
Why? Arms sales?
President
Your
Trump
arms
went over
sales?
there. No, President Trump made a trip.
Who sold them the
Soon,
weapons?
what's that?
Who sold the Saudis the weapons recently?
No, no, we've been selling them weapons for years over
I
there. We
haven't sold
supported the
shit, George.
Saudis.
I haven't sold nothing. Who's we?
America, well, our military-industrial complex has been selling them weapons. That's it. But none of those people, those 10 horned generals, will stand up and tell us the truth about 9/11. That's a problem with the
Oh, now
country.
we're gonna go to 9/11. Yeah, that's where we should be.
I mean, these generals, they're supposed called leaders. They've written books like How to Lead and all this. They're not leaders at all because they're not coming clean with the American public on these. That is the most important event that's ever occurred in American history, really, in my opinion. 9/11 is because it
Well, it's
transformed the country
solidified
so
ignorance.
greatly. Huh?
It solidified ignorance.
Yes, it did. Hey, that's a good way to explain it, Charlotte, because what it did was set up the American public to be cowtoed anywhere that this corrupt leadership wanted them to go, and they've led them into a national security state status. This is the
And it's
problem.
bleeding. It's bleeding into the children.
Yes, exactly. It's
I saw a video
overflowing. Yeah,
on Facebook, and I made a really, I said, this is a crappy video.
yeah,
And because it was like Sesame Street. It wasn't Sesame Street. You know, so many planes were hijacked. So many buildings fell down. It was such a
right, right,
misleading. It wasn't the you know uh, two planes and three buildings. It
right, right.
was different than that. It was like
I got you.
however many planes. I don't even remember how many we got. We had the Pennsylvania,
Well,
the
there were
Pentagon.
four planes that they
Okay,
say were involved.
and then Air
Four.
Force One makes five to know about, and then the
Yeah,
white plane that nobody, that
right,
other plane that's in the vicinity. So that's six planes. There were six planes in the saga.
right. So what they've done is mischaracterize it, but they're putting out
But that's Sesame
information.
Street.
Yeah,
That's Sesame Street. So I'm trying to justify my behavior
yeah,
in a reminiscent. I'm a part of a 1970s group, where we have I I ran across it, and I'm glad I'm there because they play music from the 70s.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh, Charlotte, you love it, don't you?
then the people started posting to the group about 9/11, right? I didn't post anything about 9/11,
Is
and
that groovy
that
music?
terrible video came out. I watched the first 15, 20 seconds, and I was so uh, offended. Yeah, okay, me too. Oh,
I
by the
know.
way,
Well,
that's
now
my.
the children are seeing crap like that, and they're getting indoctrinated into mistruths, disinformation. That's the problem with this whole system. You know, very powerful. The propagandizing the kids. But
Right, right. And this is what will you tell your children? And I was very happy to see Christopher Bolin presented, on that theme in San Diego. You know, that was moving.
right, right. There's news in here that Bin Laden's son. I think we wrote a essay on Bin Laden's son, didn't we? Huh?
How many of them and where are they at?
Hamza was killed in a U.S. airstrike, and President Trump confirmed it. Okay, so we're still chasing
That's
these phantoms. See what I mean? These phantoms are being chased around the world.
peripheral.
Huh?
That's peripheral.
Yeah, I know, but it's still disinformation, misinformation that grabs the attention of the public, and then they can just kowtow them where they want to go with them. See, that's what's so discouraging about these things.
Well,
See,
what about the 9/11 when the first time there was a 16-year-old boy that was killed? There's supposedly an American was killed by Obama.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
At least
there's all
somewhere.
kinds of different information out there that's been, mischaracterized and ill-reported, by our media, mainstream
Well,
media.
we're in a sense with the live streaming.
Yeah, well, we're trying to straighten up a few of these things, but then they may be shadow banning some of our broadcasts, which I feel they've been doing for years. So we're not reaching as great an audience as we could see. With our own
Well,
broadcast and so forth. See, but
9/11,
what
you
we're
know,
doing, we're doing a little bit. You know.
right. Well, I'm not an activist anymore. I'm just trying to monitor things as they develop. I'm not into politics. I didn't want to watch the Democratic debate last night, so there you go.
Yeah,
If it was
yeah.
actually scheduled,
Well,
I would
I
have
love
tuned
to
in.
watch those things, Charlotte. You know what I am? I'm a political animal. You know that,
Right.
huh?
Well, there's so many names and faces and principles, and everybody's talking at once, kind of.
Oh, they were all jumping on each other. It was like a carnival. You know what I mean? The sideshow. If you go back in, on carnivals they have a sideshow. See the thing, the
Oh, the
geek.
Harry
Pay
Mason or
pay
the
pay
fat
two
lady or
pay
something like
$2 and we'll let you look at
that.
the
The fat
geek.
Harry lady.
Yeah, the fat lady, or the two-headed monster creature. You know what I mean? And then they'll have some kind of fake deal up there with a fake head on a guy that says that it's the other head, right?
What if the
Well,
sideshow was a psychic? Wouldn't that be
yeah,
something?
I used to date a girl who was married previously to a guy that ran one of these traveling carnivals. See, and she and I had discussions about these games of hustle. Where you put the milk bottles up and you put the real heavy ones at the bottom, or you make it real slick, and when the ball hits the milk bottle, they just slide back, but they don't fall down. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's all kinds of ways to hustle people and con people. You know,
I
it
know.
gets
I wrote that down
old
in
after a
language.
while, huh?
CON. I've given so much thought to the English language and to
Yeah,
language in general. You know,
yeah.
CON. That
Well,
hustle turned into con job.
well,
When I
our
was
friend,
a kid,
yeah,
George, you know what I
David,
knew about hustle?
yeah.
Hey, let me tell you. You know what I knew about hustle?
What?
Hustling from being born and raised in Northern California. What I knew about the hustle
Yeah,
was a song and entrepreneurship in the sense
right,
that, paper routes and, you hustle to get the job done.
right, right. Okay, but not mislead people
Not
and con
con
them. Right,
job.
right, right.
So I don't say it's a hustle. And when you started saying that years ago about the hustle,
It's a hustle, Charlotte. You know that. I know. We were talking in different terms of definitions there. Yeah.
We've
Right.
had different. We've over the years. No, I understood what you meant by hustle because I'm mature enough and I've always been old enough to understand that a hustle is it's you might call it a flash mob.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you understand me now. You're more mature than when we started, huh? Or I'm less open. I'm open more now to your views.
And now we
uh,
both have hearing problems. And
what'd you say? What'd you say? Remember, that commercial where that guy says, "I just wanted to hear it again, son." The son says, "I love you, Dad." And he says, "What? What?" And the guy says, "I just wanted to hear it again, son." This is after he had a hearing aid, right? Boy,
uh,
I tell you, they have some really hustles out there, don't they? Well, advertising started out as just presenting a product's benefits, and then it got into the psychology of the product and the psychology of the viewer or listener to the ad commercial. See, and now that's all they teach in college now is how to hustle people. How to
how do
con
you know?
people,
How do
how to
you know?
con
I'm
people.
back to college.
What's
How do you
that?
know? I'm the
What?
one going back to college. How do you know that's all they do is teach them how to hustle? The people are the same age and they sit in a room.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong. We are institutionalized. And a university is an institution, and
Well,
they
well,
don't
you
teach.
want to
They teach
reinstitutionalize
conduct and
yourself.
lying.
Is
What's
that what
that?
you want? You want to reinstitutionalize yourself? Go back to college, right?
What's a
No,
person
no.
do?
There's a democracy class, school of thought or a discipline
Oh,
now, starting at University of Missouri, right?
no, no,
Is
no.
that
What was the Keaton Institute of Constitutional? Oh gosh, I just got a lead. I just
yeah,
learned something about the university. Remember, was it the
yeah,
Keaton Institute?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's at the University of Missouri though. It's sponsored by them, but it's within one of their schools. See, that's it. Okay, I
Well,
believe
of
that's what it
course.
is. But it's like Hillsdale College in a way. Okay.
I don't know. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know much about Hillsdale, but I've liked
Well,
what they've.
okay, I can tell you one thing about Hillsdale, and you'll just naturally fall into to believing in Hillsdale. They don't receive one federal dollar, period. Okay, that means that they're objective and they don't have to to a federal government with big education dollars.
Well,
You understand?
objective. Everybody
Uh,
tries.
They've got everybody on the take on these federal dollars, and then they can dictate to some degree their curriculum and how to teach and what to teach. You understand? Hillsdale doesn't take $1, and they do what they want to. They require every freshman to learn about the Declaration and the
Are
Constitution.
they religious?
Well, they started out as you could say, a small college, technical college, I believe, and then they changed their name to Hillsdale. But I think they do have but it's not mandatory. But I think they are on the religious side, yes, because they're
Imagine that.
on the non secular side. You have the secular education systems, which are godless, and then you have the non secular, which have some belief system, through churches
Well, don't
and
let the
denominations.
humanitarian aspect get lost in the shuffle.
But see, George Mason, I don't remember when we went up there and did that broadcast.
Yes.
There was an economic society that first sponsored us. Then they pulled sponsorship when they knew we were going to talk about real money things and
Yeah.
the
Fuzzy
Continental
stuff.
and all that. When they found out that we were bringing in uh, 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 but Baron, what was her name? Gosh, my memory slips. But she
She
was
died
a
of cancer.
pioneer, huh?
She died of cancer. I remember.
Yeah.
I
Remember
can't
that
remember
name.
the name
Well,
either.
we'll put that up in conjunction with this broadcast. But she knew about the world system. She'd gone to UN meetings, and she knew about the money dominance worldwide. And George Mason, and that economic society, evidently didn't want to hear about that. See what I mean? And so we got shut down. And so nobody came to our lecture there. So remember what they did? They came back to me, our two speakers, and they said, "Mr. Butler, What should we do? Nobody's in this auditorium. I said, we're live streaming it. We're recording it. Get up there and deliver just like you had a full audience here. And that's what we did. See, the economic thing, Charlotte, discipline has been constructed to support the financial and banking enterprises and to justify and make them credible. That's what the economic system is about. And many people that are caught up in economic, degrees and so forth, they don't understand that until late in their career, too. Okay?
Well, money and exchange of value, and
Yes. Well,
that's
the
one area.
city of London, money dominance, money power, that's where it is. City of London. And I've been there and sat down and talked to Lynn Swan, who was director of the Tavistock Institute at the time in 2006. So I understand on a first-hand basis what those institutions are all about. And it's just another conditioning type of system thing. Okay? And that's what the isms are about. An ism is a system of thought used to promulgate a system of control. So isms themselves, you got to be suspect when you start looking at any ism, ISM. Okay,
Yeah, I'm aware.
got me?
Yeah, you got to look at the print, the English language. You got to look at
Exactly. Well,
and the
one of
Spanish
our
language,
friends.
and you got to keep up with art, and you got to keep up with pop culture. There's a communications. Uh, it's a funny thing. Sorry, you were saying?
Charlotte, you have made some really good suggestions there. One of our friends is an expert in neurolinguistic programming, and
NLP.
when
Imagine that.
President Obama came down here, the people that came out there to support him had to pay over $30,000 to sit there and be subjected to neurolinguistic programming. Okay, that's how it's working today. You know what I mean? That's when he came down here to raise money. So it's
And then
practicing
I
these
heard
very
micro
very
expressions.
sophisticated. Yeah, it's today these people are practicing very sophisticated psychological and linguistic techniques on a public that is unaware of how they're being used, manipulated, and thrown away when they're of no use. That's it. Okay. But I mean, the public at large is they're still asleep in a dream state, in a delusional state, is what I described it.
Well,
Okay.
I can't comment on that.
Okay, Charlotte, what do you have to close your
That's your
closing
line of
comments this
philosophy.
morning? What are your closing comments for this morning
Oh, we've been
edition?
talking a while, haven't we?
Huh? Well, we're talking about a lot of things. You're such a joyous person, Charlotte. I enjoy broadcasting with you. You know that?
We've had a lot of fun over the years. Do you remember
We
that
have.
time we? Let's tell the story about when we were coming back into Austin and that
Okay,
we're on the
okay.
interstate
We
and
were coming back from Iowa, weren't
discussing
we?
what were we discussing?
Well, we could have taken an exit that would have put us on a toll road, but we're against toll roads. So I said no, we're not going to go on the toll road. Take the next
I
exit. The
got
next
lost on
exit.
the toll roads.
So we delayed to take an exit to get us on a non-toll road highway back to Austin. We were on a deadline to a live broadcast out of Minneapolis. Anyway, so we wait, and all of a sudden, a little rice burner pulls out in front of us with some cans, dragging some cans, and it said "just married" on the back windshield. And I think we both almost came up with the idea: live on location.tv. And we have that today, and that's some of our video that we put up. Wasn't
And
that? Wasn't
I
that?
hope you held it strong because that was something else, man. And that was just profound.
It was. It was an
I think
amazing experience.
but I want to let my friends and
Yeah.
stuff know, my most recent
Yeah. Yeah.
experience with the toll roads is I got lost on them. They,
Right.
they protested it at the first one. I come back 10 years later and there's like a racetrack.
Right. Right.
Toll
Right.
roads.
I know that the toll roads I've been against. Richard Reeves fought against this. They're just putting them on. They're putting little short, you know what I mean, 8 and 9 mile sections now. And they're just they shouldn't we shouldn't go for it, but we do. But anyway, well, thanks for being with us this morning on our edition, the Secret Truth Morning Edition. We thank you for being with us this morning, Charlotte. We love and respect you, and we're for women. We're for women's rights, and we're for young women getting ahead in a free market system. Okay.
Okay, how women get? I got to put you on the spot.
What's
Truth
that?
or dare? How women get the vote?
In 22, I believe.
Yeah, but how?
1922.
How'd
Well,
they dominate?
they went out there and demonstrated and got into the streets and organized and got the vote. Okay.
And then what happened?
Well, then they. I'll say this. You know, when you look at banking and finance, you look at men dominance. Okay.
I'm
So
aware.
but women have a lot more power than men could ever realize or ever awaken to.
What
Okay.
happened? What you
So
just
women
say?
are more powerful than they're being portrayed at. Okay. So that
Yeah,
is not discussed. That is not discussed in this
me, but
whole
some of them.
discussion. But then women are gaining more power than they even had before because of their political activism. So that's where we're headed now. Okay. Now I support some of that because
It's
there
the
are
19th Amendment.
let me say this, and then we'll sign off here. Women are on the life giving and nurturing side, and that's why they're against this war making, and that's where they shine, in my opinion. Okay.
I like that. Hey,
Men are warlike, and the way that men and women approach problems is this: men approach problems and they react in a physical way. And that's why there's wife beating at times. Women react in a thinking way, and that's why they want to reconcile and make peace again. Okay. So anyway, any last words there, Charlotte?
no, but I've had fun this morning. I enjoyed talking to you. This is different, George. We got to do this again.
We'll do it. Well, thank you, Charlotte, for being such a nice person with a beautiful smile.
See you
Okay.
later.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.
We're signing off now. Bye.
No, you take it down.
Okay. God bless everybody. I'll take it down right now. I promise. Okay. I'll take the brick wall down too behind me. Okay. Okay. Bye.
I got one of those in storage.
Huh?
I
Hey,
got all in storage.
the thumbs up. Hey, doesn't that look just like on the Facebook? Okay. Bye.
Yeah, it does. Hey, wait a
Bye.
second.
What?
Remember the wall? Remember the wall
What
for the
wall?
play for Give Them a Chance?
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. That we built a Berlin Wall on our stage on Give Them a Chance musical. We breached the middle of the wall at the end of the musical. We brought children to freedom from Berlin, East Berlin to West Berlin, and they sang "Light a Little Candle," which is a song that I composed for the Tiananmen Square protest movement. But anyway, that's just a little detail. We're going to sign off here, Charlie. Okay.
See you,
Love you.
George.
Love you, babe. Bye bye.
You too.
Yeah, right there.
Which one you want?
Both of them. Bye bye.